You know, unfortunately my project didn't go through, and I was like, okay, this Levi's, I was like crossing my fingers, and then I knew it was still in 5th place, so I was kind of like hinting at Levi. I was like, is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? And I'm really happy when it did. I was just like, hey, I would love to be part of this. You know? So yeah, this is what I started with. Actually, when I saw her, it came to my head. I've been working, you know, at Double Fine for 10 years, so I have this like catalog behind my head of like, oh, I've worked on this, so I know this. So I touched on so many meshes that I was like, you know, Res is a really good basis for this for her. So I started actually off Rez's head. So it kind of started off him, and then usually it's better to start from scratch if you have the confidence that you're gonna get to where you want to go. You can reuse some of the stuff. We tend to mirror some of the information, and some, of course, some we don't want to mirror because we don't want it to be exactly the same. But this allows us to keep the fidelity fairly high on both sides if you're using just one map for savings. It should have like distinct folds when it comes to her hair or when it comes to cloth. So one of the references that Levi gave me is this thick book here by Lindecker, and you can kind of see how he just makes some distinct cuts on folds. So it gives us some really clear shapes. So it's almost simplifying a drapery. So it's not like a realistic hair, instead something very stylized with swirls too. Yeah. That's something that Levi had a lot in his drawings. At first, you know, you sculpt something and you get it very close to the concept, but you still feel like you find that some things are missing, and then it just kind of comes out of your instinct. One of the things we also, I was wondering too, what makes this character distinct, and she got this, like, it's not like blue eyes, but they're almost gray to white, which is blind almost, you know, and these really clear eyes. And you can kind of see a little bit what I was talking about, her eyes, getting that across. The color is like very close to white, and then pushing it to be almost incandescent. So if we were in a condition where it was almost fully black, we would still see the eyes. It would be almost as if it was lit on its own. Because a lot of times in this prototype, we're actually seeing her at this distance. If you're looking at a character, you know, 90% of the time like this, it's like, where can we push it? Like we were talking about doing drapery and simulation and smaller things like this, but that really doesn't carry through only on the cutscene. So we focus our time more on the skirt, on bigger shapes. Same thing with the detailing of some modeling and sculpting the drapery. If we did a lot of minor details, it would just look noisy. We got to the game, it wasn't really showing, and I was like, oh, you know, I want to really push that, because I think that's one of the things that makes her stand out as being a unique character, and going kind of with that Eastern European vibe. Like we had a lot of references from like Czechoslovakia and Russia, and those are the things that don't show up too much. You may see a little bit of like on Dracula or something, so when it describes like the environment that it runs across. So it has a lot of potential.